I'm listening to this and I'm thinking that this would do very nicely on a contemporary country station, but I'm also thinking that it would do well on a soft adult contemporary station, and even some aspects of it might even fit in with the new age format. And so I'm kind of wondering what was going through your head. What were you thinking when you came up with this as to who was going to play it and what you wanted to accomplish with it? I mean, besides the almighty dollar, what did you want to get out of designing this song the way you did?
Sure. I love talking about I love analyzing music, so I'm happy you asked that question. A lot of these songs, well, all of them really, have been years in the making now, and I started writing Full Circle some years back, and I think I wrote the melody first, and the lyrics actually were set to an entirely different melody at first, and then I swapped the lyrics for what I wrote for this existing melody in Full Circle, and I put these lyrics with that kind of intense, that almost, as you said, it's got that kind of new age flavor, a little bit chill out, atmospheric, and it just worked because the lyrics were so there was that kind of realization I had. I think it was right after I turned 30, so not to give too much away about my age, but when I hit that point, I was really happy to turn 30. I felt really confident in who I was and what I wanted to do with my music. And I think more and more as the years go by, I become less focused on trying to make a living with music financially as to more just that goal of, I want to share something and I really want to get a message out there. And I write selfishly in that I love to express personal thoughts and feelings, but I love it when I share something and it touches people and it makes them think. And I was just thinking, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you just touched on something that I wanted to get to, and it's almost like you're reading my mind here. But in listening to this song, compared to some of the other people that we've had on, and not to put anybody down, I would never do that, but there is a certain level of confidence that I hear in the way you're presenting yourself vocally on this song that I don't hear on too many other indie artists. And yes, it comes with experience, it comes with age, but just, you say you're dating yourself. Yeah, I turned 30 once. That was about 36 years ago, so yeah. But I still got my confidence, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing yet. But no, seriously, the way you come across on that is, it just sounds to me like you and your cohorts put a lot of work into this. Tell us about some of the musicians that are playing on this record.
Actually, I'm delighted to tell you, since you said that everything you're hearing is entirely 100% done by me and me alone. I write the songs from scratch, from every single beat, every single note, from the very beginning to the very end. All of the lyrics, all of the performances, all of the production work, everything is done entirely by me, which is why it took so long for all of these songs to come together. And I think this song in particular, because I only recently recorded the vocals for it, even though I'd written it a few years back, just the performance of it and how I was expressing it. I've been through a lot personally the last few years, and I don't know how much I could feel without revealing too much, but I love to educate people, and I don't mind telling them that I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease in 2013, and I've had to. It forced me to take a step back, and I had to think about how I was taking care of myself and what I was doing in my life. And I went through some really difficult, challenging times with it in 2015, and I had to think about medications and treatments and ongoing things like that. And it really opened my eyes, and for the first time in my life, I think, I started to appreciate everything more. After I got past that initial shock of, oh my gosh, what's happening? How am I going to do this? My first instinct is always to give more, make more, do more, connect more after I get through the tough times. So I think I just maybe subconsciously put more into what I'm doing because I important that kind of just living life is and embracing the moment. And I think that's where the drive really is for Full Circle and all of the material for this album, I think.
I can definitely understand that, and I can compare what you're going through. I had the privilege of having lunch with a legend here just recently, and a chance to have lunch with a gentleman whom I'm proud to call a friend of mine, Bob Shane, who was one of the original 3 members of the Kingston Trio, who were such a major force in the revival of country, of folk music in this country back in the late 50s and into the 60s. And
wow.
I've known the gentleman for several years now, and Bob is 83 years old, so he is going through a lot of what you went through, only his is from just the fact that he has gotten old enough that he can't, run around and perform like he did when he was younger. They formed together as a trio back when they were in college in San Francisco back in the mid-50s, and Bob has had to go through the withdrawal from being able to perform, and he had gotten to the point where, they've always loved their music. To them, to listen to Bob talk, to them, the going around and playing for money was almost secondary. They got into it. As he told me, one of the first times we had a chance to talk, he said, well, we got into it because we found that the guys that were getting all the girls were band members. So we decided we'd go and we'd get a band. We'd get our own group together and make, go out, play some dates, and get to meet some chicks. So
sure.
So I can identify with what you're saying. I've noticed it myself. I'm not going to be running any marathons right away either, but the analogy is there, and it's good in Bob's case. I'm so glad that he is still up and around. He doesn't perform that much, but he does attend their shows, and it speaks to what you were saying about getting away from the necessity, the dollars and everything, and moving on, which we have to do right now. We need to move on. So if you would please, Charlie, tell us a little bit about your next song here, Traveling Light.
Traveling Light is the official first single for my album, and I can't tell you too much about the album, but it is called Present, and it will be out next month in August. And it is the opening track for the album, and I chose it as the first single and the opening track because it sets the mood for the whole album. The song itself is about your soul. It's about one's soul. That's what the Traveling Light is, as I talk about it in the song. And it's very kind of the same style. It's very pop, it's very electronic, it's very epic and kind of grand, and I really hope that it connects and makes that statement of you're never going to outrun who you really are, you should celebrate it, you should live it and love it, and that's Traveling Light.
Right, okay, we're going to find out right now, and I'll be looking forward to the album when it comes out. I hope we can get some tunes from it to play on the show and also play in my room when I'm decompressing. Thank you very much. Charly Tate for being with us today. This is the lead tune from her next album. It's called Traveling Light.
Without
so much for being with us here today. We thank both Charly and Mark of Stompers for being with us today and sharing some great music. Jon Bon Jovial, I think it's time you take us home.
I think it's time we got out of here, too, David. The David Bowers Awards is broadcast around the world through the facilities of the studios at Computer Help USA in Naples, Florida, and we come to you also from the Valley of the Sun in Arizona. Be sure to find us on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, 365 Internet Radio, Spreaker, and Mixcloud. Click the follow link on our Blog Talk Radio page and like the David Bowers on Facebook, and be sure to follow us on Twitter as well. Be sure to join us next week for the David Bowers Awards, Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern on WRFZ-FM 106.3 in beautiful Rochester, New York. That, of course, being Rochester Free Radio. And on Blog Talk Radio, Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 7 p.m. Greenwich time for more great indie music and talk with the artists that make it happen. So until next week, for the David Bowers, Nick the Geek, Hopalong Sarcassity, and all the other crew of idiots here at the Radio Ranch, this is Jon Bon Jovial saying be good to each other, and we'll see you next week right here on the David Bowers Awards.